Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to teach you about Children Education Allowance scheme. Those students who are preparing for AIIMS CRE examination and other exams in central universities, IITs, NITs, departmental examinations, SAS examinations, and other various kind of examination in which this topic is asked. So you will find this video very useful as this is one of the important topic asked in this exam. I have tried to cover the whole topic in brief and try to cover all the facts which can be asked in the form of MCQ from this topic. I hope you find this video very useful. So let's start. Now we will learn about the eligibility condition for availing this Children Education Allowance reimbursement. So first of all central government employees are eligible under this scheme irrespective of their pay limit, which means there is no barrier with respect to pay limit. Next is all state government servants on deputation to central government. They are also eligible for this scheme. Next is industrial employees of central government. So first of all, we have to focus on this term industrial employee. What the what this mean? So industrial employee basically mean or basically they are primarily civilian workers. They are civilian workers who fall under the definition of workmen. And this definition is given in Industrial Dispute Act 1947. Now all these acts are devised in 4 codes. So we don't have to go into that. We just have to remember this, that industrial employees are basically primary civilian workers who fall under the definition of workmen as per Industrial Dispute Act 1947. So they are also eligible. Next is civilian employees paid from defense estimates. They are also eligible. Next one is government servant on deputation to state government or on foreign service. So they are also eligible, but here a new term arrives, foreign service. What this foreign service means? Foreign service is basically services of a government servant with the sanction of government, with the sanction of government under a non-government employer. So government employer. We will focus on this when we'll deal with deputation and foreign service rules. Deputation and foreign service rules. For now, we have to remember this one, that foreign service means services of a government servant with the sanction of government under a non-government employed. Next is next is all citizens of Nepal and Bhutan working in central government. They are also eligible. So we have to remember the names of the country Nepal and Bhutan working under central government are also eligible under this scheme. So these are all important terms and conditions for the eligibility under Children and Education Allowance. You can pause the video and note it down. We will move on to the next slide. Earlier, what was happening that children education allowance and tuition fee were given separately. Now, in 7 CPC, these are all merged as Children Education Allowance Scheme. So both of these are together merged in Children Education Allowance Scheme. Now, next point is CEA, Children Education Allowance, is allowed for distance and correspondence courses also. This can be asked in the form of MCQ that CEA allowed for distance correspondence courses, yes or no. So you have to remember that for distance and correspondence courses also CA is given. Now we look on the rates of reimbursement for children education allowance. It is 2812.5 per month or 33,750 per year per child. Per child, this is the amount. And this is irrespective of the actual expenditure. Irrespective of the actual expenditure means whatever amount you are incurring, it doesn't matter. This much amount the employee will get per child. For the young child, children education allowance is double the normal rate. So this is also an important point that for the young child. So for disability, it should be at least 40%. So for the young child, CA is double the normal rate, means 5,625 a month or 67,500 per year per child. Now, for the young child, CA is reimbursable for education at residence also. Even if he is getting education at his or her residence due to his disability, he or she is eligible for this children education allowance. Now another thing is hostel subsidy. So what is this hostel subsidy? Basically, students residing in the educational institute, staying there and studying there are eligible for this hostel subsidy. So rates of this hostel subsidy are 8,437.5 per month, or this can be multiplied by 12 and you will get this amount per year per child, or actual cost of boarding and lodging, whichever is lower. So you have to understand the difference. In children education allowance, irrespective of the actual expenditure, the employee was getting this much amount. But in hostel subsidy, actual cost or boarding and lodging, whichever is lower. So accordingly, it will be reimbursed. Actual cost or boarding and lodging. One important point is that hostel subsidy is reimbursed in the form of boarding and lodging. And what are the conditions for availing hostel subsidy? There are basically primarily three conditions. The institution should be a residential institution, means where hostel facility should be there. Student staying and studying in the institution. The student should be staying in the institution and studying there. And it should be minimum 50 kilometer away from the residence. The institution should be minimum 50 kilometer away from the residence. So moving on to the next slide, some important points which have to be kept in mind. Child under Children Education Allowance means employees' child, including step or adopted child, dependent on the government servant. The child should be dependent on the government servant. The school in which the child is studying should be recognized. Now, another case is if both husband and wife are employed in central government, the reimbursement or the assistance will be admissible to one of them only. One of them can only get the reimbursement. If husband is employed in central government and wife in state government and facility of reimbursement is available in first, both, then one can claim, the other should give an undertaking that they are not claiming. They are not claiming. And if the facility of reimbursement is available to only one of them, in this case it can be only central government, then the other party have to give in writing that no such scheme is available under their employer. Now, admissibility for all period treated as duty, that is all kinds of leave like EL, HPL, study leave, CL, etc., including EOL. This point has to be kept in mind. EOL also is treated as duty for the calculation of children education allowance. Even on suspension, even if an employee is suspended, he or she is also eligible for this reimbursement, but not on the period treated as dies non. If a period is treated as dies non, then the employee is not eligible for this period. For this period, he is not eligible and he will get that reimbursement proportionately. Proportionately, he will get that reimbursement. For dies non period, he is not eligible. This scheme is given for two eldest surviving children. This is also an important point. Here also an important point. This one is also important, that EOL is included, dies non is not treated, and even in suspension it is given. Next is two eldest surviving children. So children education allowance is given to two eldest surviving children. Another important point is in case of failure of sterilization operation admissible to children born out of the first instance of such failure in addition to above. So let's understand this. If a government servant has two children, then sterilization operation has been done. And after or due to failure of this, another child born. So after failure of such operation, only for the first child it is admissible. And if second child born after this, then for the second child it is not admissible. It is admissible only for the first child. And if the first child results in the multiple birth, both of them will be eligible for this reimbursement. Next is, this is also important, no minimum age of children. So no minimum age is prescribed for children for reimbursement, but upper age limit is prescribed. It is 20 years. 20 years for normal children. For normal children, it is 20 years and 22 years for children with disability. Children with disability can claim up to 22 years and normal children can claim only up to 20 years. And it is given for 3 class prior to 1, means before 1, 3 classes, irrespective of irrespective of nomenclature. Just for example, like pre-nursery, nursery, LKG, UKG. So it will given only for the 3 classes before 1 and up to class 12. Up to class 12 it will be given. So you can claim from this period 3 class before 1 to class 12 or 3 class before 1 up to 10th plus 2 years for this diploma certificate course. So even if you are doing, this is an important point, even if you are doing 3 years diploma course, so your reimbursement will be restricted for the first or initial 2 years only. For third year, you will not get. And this will be only if you have not claimed for 11th and 12th class. So after doing 12th class, you are doing diploma, you will be not eligible. And if you have not claimed for 11th and 12th class, then you will be eligible for this reimbursement under Children Education Allowance and Hostel Subsidy. And another important point, whatever rates mentioned in this will rise by 25% whenever DA crosses 50%. Whenever DA crosses 50%, it will rise by 25%, and these rates are the latest one. Latest up to 2026. Now we will look to some special cases. If employees died while in service, CA is admissible till such in time employee would have actually retired. What does this mean? It means that suppose if an employee died in 2026 and he was going to retire in 2040. So up to what time he can claim this children education allowance or his family can claim up to this period. Up to 2040 he can claim subject to the other condition like up to class 12 and whatever other conditions I have already described. So up to this period he can claim. Another case is if employee is discharged, dismiss, removal. These three are penalty imposed on the government servant by the employer. So in this case, CEA is admissible till the end of the calendar year. Means suppose if an employee gets this penalty in November 2025, so CEA can be claimed up to this March 2026. That is the end of the academic year. Next is, in addition to above, special allowance for child care to women with disabilities. So, what person are getting now? Children education allowance, hostel subsidy allowance. Now, another special allowance is given to women with disability for taking care of their child. And the rate for these are 3,750 per month or 45,000 per year per child. This is an important thing. Now, for what period it is given? It is given for two child till he or she attains the age of 2 years. So up to 2 years, it can be reimbursed and rate is this. Now, another important thing is that both hostel subsidy and children education allowance can be availed concurrently. A government employee can avail hostel subsidy and children education allowance concurrently. Now, another important thing is that CEA can be claimed for the same class twice, only when the child fails in a particular case. For other reasons, CA is not admissible. What does this mean? Means suppose a student is in second class and he fails in second class, then he is eligible for children education allowance. But suppose a student is in second class and has passed the exam, get TC, and get admitted in second class in another school, or even repeat the same class in same school, then he is not eligible for children education allowance for that particular class. So when he goes to class 3, then he becomes eligible. Now another important thing is that in addition to above, means whatever the government servant is getting like children education, hostel subsidy, and the special allowances. In addition to above, fee charged directly by schools institution for catering to the special needs of child with disability, duly verified by the school authorities, is also reimbursable. So, after reimbursement of children education allowance and hostel subsidy, if in this case hostel subsidy will be not be applicable, uh, this point we will look after. So children education allowance in the above case, okay. So this will be applicable. This will be applicable. For this will be for Divyang cases, or children with disability. If school is providing some assistance to this student and charging some fee, so by producing a certificate, this expenditure is also reimbursable in addition to these two. These two will also be reimbursable and this will also be reimbursable. Another important point is that in earlier slide, I have told you that for CA is admissible, CEA is admissible for two eldest surviving children. Suppose after first child, second child results in multiple birth. So all these three childs will be eligible for children education allowance. But for another case is like this, that in the first instance results in multiple birth. So these two will be eligible. And in third case, if another child is there, they will not be eligible. But in this case, these three child will be eligible for children education allowance. So another kind of reimbursement is journey fare to children studying at outstation. If a if a student studying away from the residence of the government servant, this is an important point, residence of the government servant or his family, he is entitled in a calendar year during vacation. This vacation will be declared by the institute. For journey from place of study to the employee's headquarters and back by this star mark. So we will learn this case. Suppose if an employee student is studying in Agra and employee is working in Patna, then the student can go from Agra to Patna, then has to go back from Patna to Agra. And the employee is working in Patna. Employee is working in Patna means employee's headquarter is Patna. So the student can avail this concession from Agra to Patna and Patna to Agra. So only after he gets back, he becomes eligible. Suppose he comes from Agra to Patna and doesn't return back, which may be due to some or other reason, then he or she will not be eligible for this concession. So reimbursement of the fare by rail restricted to second class. Second class fare will be given at student concessional rates. If any railway is providing at any student's concessional rate, it will be reimbursed by the shortest route. So these are the important points. Second class fare, student concessional rate, and the shortest route and back. So to and fro journey. So reimbursement will be provided for to and fro journey. That is from Agra to Patna, Patna to Agra, means X to Y and Y to X, vice versa. And suppose if these stations are not connected by rail, then the amount is restricted to the fare of journey by ordinary bus or lowest class by ship if connected by the sea or steamer, ship or steamer or ordinary bus, whatever means connection is there. And suppose if an employee is transferred from his headquarters, so he can either avail the transfer TA in respect of the child or reimbursement under this scheme. He has to give an undertaking what he wants to avail. And time limit for availing this concession is within 3 months of the completion of journey. It means the date at which the student arrived at his institute or returns back. From that day to 3 months, the government servant has to claim this reimbursement. So this is all in this video. I would like to know your thoughts on this and comment. If you have any doubt, you can comment. And if you like the video, please like, subscribe and share and comment on which topic you want me to make video. Comment for the next topic. Thank you everybody.